conducive for David as far as just a hair easier. Watch out for Al-Kaidi as this event moves on.
So we lag.
Jefrey Roda wins the lag.
Jefrey Roda. Julian Roper is our referee. I'm just wondering whether Jefrey Roda is going to mark the 30th anniversary
Jefrey Roda to break.
of Efren Reyes winning the US Open by taking the trophy back to the Philippines.
Yeah, I believe the only Filipino player left. Now, I tell 2 different breaks there than we've seen so far. Very light on the pace. And in my opinion, almost like to the effect of getting possibly a warning for a forceful break. See no body movement at all. Just a simple swing on the cue. And also you can always tell just by the energy of the rack and the ball's moving after the break, after the rack was opened. Easy plant behind the green 6 here.
Stance, alignment, cue action, all orthodox, all solid for Jefrey Roda.
And again, we'll watch as this match evolves as far as the break shot. You know, that's one thing. The opponent can bring that up to the referee. That is allowed to, you know, possibly remind a referee as far as the forceful break.
Have the shot clock in the arena, please.
No shot clock in the arena, so the players need to know where they are in terms of how many seconds are left. It's a 30-second shot clock, as normal, with one 30-second extension per player per rack.
Yeah, I think he may have to go up the table, maybe.
Reset the clock to 30 seconds, please.
May need just a hair of spin. It's not that hard to hit if he doesn't need spin, really. Just kind of cut the angle in half. You won't baby it, you won't blast it, just somewhere in the middle. Real good stuff there to open. Not giving a ball in hand there, especially figuring Roda may be a little nervous in this setting.
Yes, the lone Filipino left. 9 of them reached the last 64.
Oh, really nice cue ball here. That's not the easiest shot. It did leap, but just to keep somewhat of control of the blue 2 where it doesn't come back down. This table, maybe the bed's going to play a hair faster than the outer tables. This is an interesting shot. I don't think he'll go for the corner. No real future on the red 3, but if he tries to cross this over, he's got to really avoid a kiss. Shouldn't be no problem, but did it nicely. He's going to bury this underneath the 6. Roda now back where he started the game for Fedor Gorst.
The application of side was inch perfect.
Yeah, and what you don't understand, there are a lot of players until you start to really play the game. You know, that kiss I was talking about, when you make a so-so stroke, that kiss becomes more possible. Got through the ball nicely. Gotta adjust your kicking on this table, that's for sure. Okay, this is gonna, oh, caught, may lay on the funny side of the side pocket. Now, what does he do? This is really tricky. Looking to see if he can bank it between the 9 and the pink 4 and go forward with the cue ball somewhere down with this near the green 6. This could easily go wrong. Can he cross the 2 slightly and just come down to the end rail, leaving a very difficult shot on the blue 2, something that maybe has no future? See how he's cueing the ball. again, it's crazy, this game, because, again, you can't ever really practice all these scenarios. He's hitting downward a little bit, so that tells me he's going to have a little. No, he played the shot I was talking about. Just cross it over and take your chances. You're going to leave something difficult. You might get the snooker. Now Jeffrey may go for the jump cue here. May have a kiss shot off the purple into the side rather than taking on the cut. Very playable kick shot here, Phil. This doesn't have to require the jump cue, really.
You can't keep kicking, you can't keep jumping without eventually some collateral damage.
Yeah, and that's where I think, you know, at times, of course, these players, they fool themselves where they really say, oh, I'm securing the hit at the blue too, but I really think the percentage play was the kick, not only to maybe make it, but also come away without giving this man a starter. Well, that's perfect speed, and it's so important that he didn't overrun that so he could hold for the pink. Seven countries, I believe, represented here in this final 8, with 2 Americans still left in it. The cream of the crop for the Americans, but a great showing overall for everyone wearing the red, white, and blue.
I think it's one of the most power-packed quarterfinals we've had for a tournament in a while. Jefrey Roda and Vitaly Pachura vying for the least well-known, the least decorated, but both are terrific players, and we all know that.
Yeah, just more of that incredible talent, you know, showing their face and making their name here on the World 9-Ball Tour. And I tell you, you know, that World Championships, you know, that was by qualification and invite. Here there was a bit more opening to get in the event. Of course, those two would have always had an invite regardless if they weren't there on rankings, and deservedly so, but really trying to do it on the main stage. Just a little draw the cue ball, kind of slow draw it into position. You have an angle going away, but should be able to hold past the side pocket pretty easily. Little light, a little bit of a tester here on the 8.
Niels Fine has won the first rack against Ko Pin Yi. In the main arena, the opening rack falls to the world 9-ball champion, Fedor Gorst. And of course, he's got that crown because of what happened in Saudi Arabia back in June. This deciding rack was an absolute thriller. $250,000 US on the line. Eklen Kachi scratched on a safety with the rack, the match, the title up for grabs. And despite enormous pressure, Fedor Gorst held himself together admirably. 15-14 the score. And that's why he's the youngest ever double World 9-Ball champion, and that's why he's got a gargantuan lead at the top of the World 9-Ball Tour rankings. If he were to win this, he'd be out of sight.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw something special with FSR not long ago, and you got to believe there's something special with this guy all the time, and something's going to last for a very, very long time as well. So, Fedor Gorst, all business so far.
Also, all business. Julian Roper loves his job, loves pool. He was telling me, actually, on the way out here, that he's going to attend the Moscone Cup, even though he's not working. Has to maintain a neutral face, of course. Can't support either side.
Well, he's off. I mean, he can go with who he likes. But yeah, nice little holiday there in Central Florida come December, late November and December.
Leading by 1-0.
All right, watch the difference from Roda's break to open compared to the world #1. Much more speed, more movement on the object balls. The 2-ball exits quickly. Purple 5's going to get out of the way, I think.
Now there you see the 2 actually got caught on the rack.
Yeah, and he's got a funny shot here. Doesn't really want to run the cue ball, I don't think, above for the 3 in the same corner. He's certainly going to attack here. Okay. I mean, that's the most comfortable way to shoot the shot, is a little more speed. Angle tells us 2 rails, kind of where the cue ball's at now. Maybe a hair left of there. Needs a little side spin, though. Maybe a tip of left English. So just like the last rack, even though it was a much easier ball to pocket, speed was crucial. So he's hit the numbers twice in both the first 2 games to open. Phil, you know, you look at all these matches, and of course, you got to consider Roda an underdog for a few reasons. The situation probably as much as anything, but so you look at how 2 players want to start these matches, and Roda as an underdog wants a good start, and Fedor Gorst just wants really perfect pull to keep the heat on Roda to begin this match, and it's been Fedor getting what he wants a bit more.
I'll tell you what, Jeremy, he's been making better starts here than he did at the World Championship, time and time again. For want of a better phrase, he found himself behind the 8 ball.
Well, yeah, really kind of the one thing you don't want, and it's just going to happen from time to time. A few times in Saudi, the match was out of his hands. I mean, really had to have a little help to make some of those comebacks and get across the line. Now, he did knock in a number of balls, and he stayed confident, and, you know, fighting through those matches. But here he's kind of put it in his own hands so far here to start.
Yeah, it was more about perseverance than pure precision. Had to just dig deep.
Real heavy stun here. Is he going to catch a piece of the 9 here? Sorry, Phil.
Extension called.
Yeah, this is odd. I thought he was able to draw by the 9, maybe even play from underneath. You want to be clear cut here so you don't miss the 8, worrying about the cue ball and the next shot.
Same as rack 1, he was short on the 8 then. That problem was resolved.
That's like 1 inch from having to bank this 9. Definitely missable. Let's see where this ends up. This may not end up as easy as we think. This is no hanger by any means.
Not for the first time this week. The great Gorst misses a 9-ball. That was the definition of tricky.
Yeah.
Extension call.
Normally when you get that fan like that, believe it or not, usually a hair of a let up on the swing, and I'm not so sure he's a favorite here. Some young eyes will serve him well.
It was one of those shots, the crowd groaned. Yes, the 9-ball was close to the pocket, but don't be confused. That was very, very tough. It was very thin. And Fedor Gorst breathes a sigh of relief. Second bite of the cherry, second pot of the bumblebee. He leads 2-0. Another quarter-final going on right now. Table 1 sees Kopin and Niels Fine 1-1. Fine winning the first rack. Kopin equalising. And the significance of this, Kopin has the credentials to go all the way and get his name engraved on the Barry Berman Trophy. If he does so, it would be back-to-back wins in the US Open for the Ko family. His younger brother, Koping Chung, was the champion last year. What an achievement it would be for the Kos to do it again.
Yeah, and I think also, just like David Alcady, that the tables, even though that was center cut and really pure from the Terminator, table's not plain easy, obviously, but a hair, you know, more forgiving at times. And I think with the experience and really just growing in confidence, I think that's been a good thing here for the Terminator. See, very right-eye dominant. Should be a close one all the way in that match there, trying to get to the semis.
When you've won multiple MVPs in the Mosconi Cup, you can handle pressure.
Right,
And Niels Fine
right.
has captured
Lead it back
so
to
many
racks,
coveted
innit?
titles in this game. We'll keep you right up to speed as that match develops.
All right, the one on the side, we saw that. The cue ball leading upstairs to the left. May have a little look at the blue too, but not much. You know, and as far as Roda's position, I think he can leave that miss behind, even though it was a 9-ball. I don't think he was really a favorite. I was trying to think of the all-time great Efren Reyes, what he would have done there. He may have kicked to the top rail trying to pocket that 9. That's how difficult it was. Looks like a chip safety on the blue 2 here. Maybe it's makeable. I think you're cutting it super thin and trying to run the cue ball. There's a lot of gaps out there, though. He's going for the make. He's eyeing the blue 2 to the corner.
Good luck here. High tariff.
Well, that's what we like to do. At least I do. Like to see the greats make the great shots. And that's another one there to open up another rack. Set them up to extend that lead.
And we saw on the replay there, one of Fedor Gorst's great strengths, and he's got so many. I mentioned this afternoon, but I think it's worth re-airing. He keeps so still on the shot. It is such an asset.
Yeah, well, you know, his training, reps and all that has a lot to do with it. Not only believing in what you see, but, you know, it's one of the few that really straight with the arm all the way, with the elbow. Everything's just perfect, right? That's actually more rare than you think, but I still believe it's the strong mind. That's what really separates him. Okay, airing on the cautious side
Sure,
there,
your
not
phones
wanting to
are on
overdraw,
silent,
get
please.
behind the 8. He can handle a lot on the green 6 to the brown.
Dream start. Nightmare start.
No start for Roda.
They call him the Ghost, and for Jefrey Roda, it is a ghoulish scoreline. 3-0 down already. Welcome back to Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City. Fedor Gorst 3-0 up on Jefrey Roda in the featured quarter-final, and 3-0 also the scoreline in the Shane Van Boening Junior Open final. But it will be 4-0 after this. Finland's Riku Rompainen, who played in the main event actually earlier this week, he does lead Grayson Vaughan of the USA 4-0. And by the way, is a race to 9, so already well on his way. Riku.
Yeah, definitely a future superstar. Wow, he's turning it up on the break shot. We saw it in the last match. Heard it in the interview. Definitely by design, putting a little more speed. All you do is you eliminate a little more traffic out there, trying to get a shot at the lowest number value ball. And really, if it gets going, you just do less work as well, Phil, which I think for these tournaments, I think that really means something.
If the 3 goes, it is the most incredibly tight squeeze.
That'll be the snooker behind the 5-9 as the 3 comes down towards the 7.
Always spies the value.
And that's the key, right? I mean, you're going to have to give up shots at times. You're going to have to let your opponent get out of the chair, but if you can prevent something easy to get started with, it just means everything, really. Watch out for the scratch off in the side. Hit it nice. 3's going to do him a little bit of favors getting by the 8. So probably cue ball position somewhere where it was behind the 5-9 a moment ago. Really, this sets up extremely natural. Just a little off the left side with a Harrah spin. Just going to let the cue ball lag 2 cushions behind the 5 and 9. May actually open it as well. Look at here, though, he did open it. Now he's got him in the trees, as we say, jacked up over the 5. Not taking much time, so he's just going to softly bang this away, trying to use the 8 for protection. Gorst does have a cut down the rail, but a cross-side bank also. I believe it's going to be the bank, just natural maybe. What he's looking at is that draw angle off the red 3, I think, going around the pink.
Extension called.
I'm on the fence here. Really can't argue either. The cut into the upper right or the cross-side bank shot. It looks like the bank he's eyeing.
His banking skills are not to be underestimated. A little flick on the 5 ball would have been Nirvana.
Yeah, he's got an angle on the pink, though, to go into it, play short side, maybe get over for a kiss shot on the 9, so he's still in great position. I'll tell you the one thing that I see compared to the last match, and both were with a lead, but his pace around the table looks super comfortable. He's just exactly how he wants. Going into it lightly, may make the 9 here.
Duly made after the 4 went in conventionally. It is one-way traffic here. 4-0 in favor of the US Mosconi player. The kiss was simply on the nose. Ko Pin-Yi now 3-2 up on Niels Fine in the other quarterfinal taking place just behind the main match arena. A little later on, David Al-Kaidi will take on Josh Filler on table 1. The main entertainment in the arena will be Vitaly Pachura against Shane Van Boening.
Yeah, and I saw a little post from Alvin Ocean to tell you a little something about Ko Pin-Yi. He said he left him a tough shot in game number 1 and then sat until down 8-0 in that match. We were wondering how that score got so sideways, and it was just something special from the former world champion.
Yeah, he's got such a sunny disposition, hasn't he, Ko Pin-Yi? Every time I see him, he waves and smiles and always seems on top of the world. Takes everything in his stride. Gorst, also a fine young man, who's a lot more studious.
Yeah, well, all of them have their own type of charisma.
Rack 5, Fedor Gorst to break. Leaded by 4-0.
More and more people follow this great sport and this great game, and they see and really kind of cherish these players. Best in the world at what they do. It's kind of a unique pool where so many fans know them personally. He's starting to look more like SVB with this break, and watch out for a 2-9 combination. Fedor Gorst 2024 is playing great and taking advantage of every little roll. Jefrey Roda is going to see another one go on Fedor's side. This has got to become a little mental.
Swift, and it falls the same way as the first 4 racks. It's 5-0 to Fedor Gorst. Now, backstage, I believe Carl Boyes has caught up with the crowd favourite.
Yeah, I'm backstage with Shane Van Bowen. And Shane, just a quick word about the last match. It's always a tough match when you play Jason Shaw. Happy with the win?
Yeah, I'm happy. I played well. I'm not going to complain the way I played. So just moving on to the next round.
How do you feel like you're breaking? Because we know on tour you've got probably the hardest break on the circuit. Where's that at?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to take any chances. You know, I see a lot of players, you know, they're kind of soft breaking a little bit. But I just don't want to take the chances of, you know, if I miss the one, then I can be screwed, you know. So, you know, I'm just thinking in my head, you break them hard and hopefully for the best rolls.
Before coming here, you played a big match against Fedor Gorst that, you know, went on for 3 days, 20 hours a day. How do you feel like your fitness is at? Do you still feel fresh?
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of pool last week, and, you know, that was just the perfect timing before the U.S. Open. As you can see, I'm playing well, so I think that helps. And, you know, it gives me a lot of confidence. And, you know, just going out there one match at a time.
Shane, you're desperate to get the 6th title. How much pressure are you feeling out there?
No pressure at all. It's just another tournament. You know, I'm just happy the way I'm playing, and hopefully for the best.
Right, Shane, get back to the practice. Good luck in your next match, pal.
Thank you.
Fedor Gorst to break. Leading by 5-0.
No pressure at all. Just another tournament.
Well, we're going to hear another thunderous break here and start to smash it. Feeling good. It seems like it gets amped up automatically. One's exiting quickly. Watch out for a little kiss. The 2's going to open. So choices for Fedor Gorst again. And I'll tell you, Shane, he's just such a unique individual. You know, we talked about a young Fedor Gorst at 24. I think Shane now 40. He may have just turned 41, but I always thought that Shane's got this weird endurance to where when it clicks in, he just does not fatigue, it seems like.
Well, there's symmetry there because SVP won his first US Open when he was 24.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, hard to say this about a 24-year-old, but that's where Fedor Gorst has put us, that you can really just say this tournament has eluded him. You know, you would think you would say that about someone who's 35 or 40 who's put in 20 years of playing and come close here and there, but it's just how good he is.
Got to the final last year, of course, but could not tame Koping Chung.
Yeah, this decision here isn't as much about the 2. It's really the pink 4 on the right that he's thinking about. How do I get on the red 3? Come over for maybe short side on the pink.
Called.
Definitely a missable 2 ball, especially if you try to do too much with the 2 ball. I think he attacks, comes 2 rails here. If he falls somewhat straight on the red 3, that's okay. You know how well he banks the ball, so there's a couple pockets on the pink. Maybe play a bank shot. I like this, going 2 cushions. That way you open the pocket a little bit with a hair more speed. Is he going to show us one here, cutting this to the upper left? He's going to play a simple safety here behind the black. Could take on the cut and go 3 cushions into the green 6. But again, like we talked about, just, you know, not going to be happy there. A couple reasons. Left a jump and left a very easy kick. But again, he doesn't want Roda to get a soft starter of any sort.
Yeah, the intention there was to get the cue ball much closer to the black 8 ball.
Last thing he wanted to do was disrupt that pink, and that's exactly what he's done. Now, I don't know if it opened or not for the lower right corner, but definitely something he can try and produce and maybe clear the table. Doesn't seem that upset, meaning like worried about the pink, so maybe it does slide by. He was trying to hit it. He was trying to go into that ball. Now looking at a soft roll. Little shocked at the kick from Roda for a few reasons, meaning sending that ball towards real trouble. So just float with a hair of a drag. Cut off the kick across the table. Oh, the seven's helping him as well. So gonna have to show us some of that Filipino magic here.
I'll tell you what, Gorst is playing hardball.
Yeah, may have to go up above the 9 with maximum spin.
He needed that.
I'll tell you, 5-0 hadn't really got to swing the cue much. So impressive to be able to roll it and keep control.
When you've beaten this roll call, Appleton, Fuller, Zielinski, Ignacio and Chur, you know you're in stroke.
Doesn't have to do much. You can see the black 8 laid up in the upper left. Probably just wants to follow to the side rail. Not really getting that much closer, but definitely gaining a more natural angle to work the cue ball. Very deliberate cue delivery. You gotta like that.
Finally, it is joy for Jefrey. The Filipino off the mark. Gorst lead is now 5-1. The story in the SVB Junior Open final. Rompainen romping away. This 9-ball for Riku Rompainen to lead Grayson Vaughan. There it is, 7-0. This could be a very quick conclusion. It's a race to 9.
Rack 7, Jefrey Roda to break. Trailing by 5 racks to 1.
Could still be a quick conclusion here in the quarter-final of the US Open itself. But at least Jefrey Roda now on the board.
Oh, that's awful right there. I liked it. I saw a little more speed from him on the break shot. I think that's going to serve him well, but a couple little kisses. Cue ball gets deposited right behind the 1.
Please start the clock.
We made the joke this afternoon that the good thing about these tight middle pockets is that they're all so tight for their cue ball, but they weren't tight enough there.
Yeah, really, the weather has served us well as far as table conditions, and so many players came up to me and saying that the table's just had played perfect all week. This guy's starting to play a bit more perfect each and every ball, it seems. The key is to take advantage of those little rolls you're getting. You know, a little unfortunate for his opponent, but you got to capitalize. All right, a little funny with the 6 and 7 on the right side rail. Does have both pockets, the upper corner and the one nearest. So he will have a little bit of options. The one thing is he doesn't want to get extreme on the 6. Somewhat heavy on the green 6 is really ideal. Again, just every little thing. Now he has the choice to draw back for the short pocket, just falling perfectly here. No stress.
Table 1, it's 4-3 to Kopin-Yi over Niels Fine. Keenly contested match. This one,
Extension called.
just the opposite.
Well, many times you'll see these matches, especially with the pros, it's a little more obvious, I think, to see that one player will get the opportunities at the beginning, and the way that changes is with a mistake, and that's just not been the case here for Fedor Gorst. So Roda has got to buy his time when he gets that chance. Little things, the missed 9 earlier, it wasn't really a makeable ball, in my opinion, from Roda. It was very, very difficult. He missed it back. Now an unfortunate scratch on the break.
Yes, the Jefrey Roda revival was brief. One rack, in fact. Fedor Gorst 6-1 ahead, and in the winner breaks format, he will be getting the next rack underway shortly. Meanwhile, on table 1, Niels Fine at the table with a pretty good layout. This to draw level.
Yeah, well, we haven't got to see the break shot in this match, but all these players, obviously, when you get to the final 8, you're breaking the balls well, and just got to believe that's been a big asset for the Terminator. He's always had a very successful break, no matter the format.
Back in February, he turned 47. But he's physically fit and still very ambitious. He believes more titles can come his way.
Yeah, another player that has so much going on in his pool career. He doesn't have to travel all over the world playing these tournaments unless he feels like he can still win. He's shown us that.
Rack 8, Fedor Gorst to break. Leading by 6 racks to 1.
Niels Fine, by the way, was MVP in the Mosconi Cup in 4 of 5 years, from 2011 through to 2015.
How quickly the one's exiting, I'll tell you. Again, another good shot at the blue, too. And really, if you just look at the table, and that's why the big break is so good, just imagine whichever ball it was, besides the 9, he has some type of look. Not near as many clusters. Really, this is you haven't said it today, Phil, but this is as much a roadmap as we've seen. It's always work on a 4-inch pocket, but you sit really nice.
Don't know what's occurring at this tournament. Jeremy, you've said roadmap more than me this week.
Yeah, and that's without being in the comms very much. Thanks to my pundits, by the way, for taking care of me. They're the best in the business anyways. But here he felt perfectly natural to slide over for the purple 5. See the green 6 in the middle. That'll get deposited later on.
Rompinen on the hill in the SVB junior final. What a performance. They shake hands. 9-0. Grayson Vaughan whitewashed.
Extension call.
Rompinen on the way to the SVB Junior Open title. In 4 matches, lost 6 racks.
Yeah, well, he's been out here with the big boys for a couple years, and that just pays dividends that the other juniors just haven't got to do just yet. But hats off to all of them that made the trip. Got to meet many of them, and they were all smiles, win or lose. See a bit more of a look on Jeffrey's face in that background. Watch out here, 8-ball. Okay. I like the aggressive play to get a little better on the green 6, but it was a bit of a sweat.
Yeah, one final thought on Rompinen. It was at the start of this month when he got to the semi-final of a World 9-Ball Tour ranking event, the Helsinki Open, on home soil.
Well, the funny thing with him is every time he seems to get a bit taller, which I think is going to serve him well. I always thought that Fedor Gorst was like the prototype build for professional pool. Nice length, but nothing too crazy. But Rico, he's still kind of getting his coordination every time he has that growth spurt, but his game is there, and he's a fun kid.
What isn't funny is having to play Fedor Gorst in this mood. You warm the seat.
I was thinking about these 2 matches. Of course, Fedor played his last match here, and of course, you're world #1. You're going to get that TV time a bit more often. But his pace around the table, I think, looks more comfortable than earlier, and very, very few mistakes. A little snatchy with the stroke there. That's why he didn't get the draw he wanted. But also, Kopini also playing the same table he played earlier. So held 2 different matches for their first quarterfinals. Missable 9, but one you figured it's going to get put away.
Even though he's doing well, of missed 9s for Fedor Gorst, and that one was well wide. It caught the left-hand jaw, a significant portion of it, but still just about flopped in. There's no way that will go back in May at the UK Open. Forget it.
Yeah, I agree, and nice kick shot there from Niels, and really battling over here our other match at 4 apiece. And if that has any more speed, that 9-ball, I think it hangs. Something told him to hit it somewhat light. Did open up the pocket a bit. Awkward kick here. He's got to come in with a little spin to hit it fully and hold. Otherwise, the cue ball will kind of cut a little. What a great shot. Pull out the jump cue, Niels. Looks like he's going to run off the jump, so watch out for the scratch. 2 rails where he's at. Barely missing it. Not sure what kind of shot he left. Maybe a rail first, maybe a little swerve on the cue ball. Keep you informed in that match. Great effort there, though, from the Terminator.
You know what they say, Jeremy? He was too close for his own good. That's why the ball remained over the pocket.
This isn't easy. There's a lot more swerve there than you would think. You can use the rail a bit, but it's got to give it time to turn. If you let up at all, it curves early into the 6. Big shot.
Back to the Fedor Gorst show.
It's the 2 ball. It's got a lot of spin. If it gets to that rail with enough pace, it may come up. Oh, the pink 4's gotten in the way anyways. We will at least see Roda for a decision of some sort. Maybe not a shot, but a push out coming.
Push out call.
He's looking for a gap here. He pushes out in that position there. The cue ball needs to be froze to the rail. You can't give him the bottom half of the cue ball rolling out to a very full 2 ball.
Jeffrey, it's your
So
choice.
he's going to try and grind here, whether Jeffrey takes it on or Fedor, some type of safety off the left side. Kind of banking the blue 2 cushions to the top rail as the cue ball comes back down. I think he's got to take this. Got to try and get the snooker here.
Flick off the 5 helped.
Yeah, just too much congestion on the bottom end not to try and be aggressive with that safety and take that shot
Extension
yourself.
called.
I wouldn't say hitting the 2 is a foregone conclusion, but it's pretty much that. You see, trying to make it in the corner, positions natural for the 3. This is going to have some pace, so could get a little lucky as well.
Yes, because another major part of his armoury, when it comes to jumping, he's right up there with the elite.
I'll tell you how they're rolling. It wasn't by design off the green 6, but no matter what he's doing, the reason why this overcut is cue ball gets in the air, it hits a little more on top of the object ball. I don't know what he does here. Wow, this is really treacherous. Doesn't have all the red 3. He knows how capable Jeffrey is, especially with that last break. Much better, unfortunate kiss. He's just trying to do all he can, and they're really going his way at the moment. That solid hit on the pink helped him out quite a bit.
You know, in cue sports, I've been involved for longer than I care to remember. And when you see this, when an elite player has a good run and they're playing well, there's only one outcome. There's only one conclusion.
You can see without even knowing, well, thought it was going to be a real open look. There's a shrug of the shoulders there from Jeffrey. Does he bank this straight back down, trying to maybe use the pink, or excuse me, the purple in the 9 maybe? Pretty easy safety. Don't worry about the 3 so much. Play that cue ball. He didn't get the cue ball where he wanted. And that's why I say don't worry about the 3 going all the way down. That sometimes sacrifices the line of the cue ball. When the shot sits so nice, I think just really play your touch. But still, though, little things, this ball getting almost froze to the rail makes this safety return very touchy. Beautiful hit. Really good. To find that gap. It's close. The pink's available.
No potting angle.
Well, for you, Phil, maybe. He's going to the air once again. Fluke the last one. Wouldn't be surprised this one hits dead center. But again, is the brown 7 going to help him? Fedor Gorst. Time to head to the casino, sir.
It's only a short walk.
You may get a little tricky with some spin here, trying to go into the face of it. If he comes 2 cushions, I really don't see the escape. I think it's got to be 1 cushion. If he went 1 cushion, he may fluke 1. Watch this. It's going to stop just enough to give him that little piece.
You know, in snooker, for years the lower ranked players have been convinced that the higher ranked players are blessed with good fortune. Steve Davis was called lucky, Stephen Hendry as well.
Going to the 9 here. I like that. I was about to say maybe the 9 on the side.
And there's luck again. There is luck again. Fedor Gorst tonight isn't just blessed with a great game, he's just blessed. Look at this. The 9 off the 8, and this one-sided scoreline becomes even more so. A little embarrassed, maybe. He's got his 2 feet, it seems, in the semi-finals. You can't help but feel sorry for Jefrey Roda as he watches on as Fedor Gorst engages in a torrid affair with Lady Luck. You know, there's a chalkboard equation. Fedor Gorst plus good fortune equals unbeatable. It's almost unfair. He's got so many assets, Gorst. When you throw luck into the mix, the odd fluke here or there, the odd roll here or there, then he becomes impregnable. By the way, on table 1, Niels Feijen now 6-4 up on Copigny after being 4-2 down.
Rack 10, Fedor Gorst to break. Leading by 8 racks to 1.
If he complains about not being on the 1, that really is selective memory. I'm sure he won't.
Push out called.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wants to stay on it. Foot is on the accelerator and doesn't want to change speeds at all. He's just been perfect and then blessed behind it. Difficult combination for anyone on the planet to overcome. Jefrey Roda, though, he's going to get it at least to the table to get something started.
I was mentioning that story earlier on in the previous rack about Steve Davis and Stephen Hendry. People had the perception they were lucky. Tony Drago, who of course is a Mosconi Cup MVP himself, he was so convinced Hendry and Davis were lucky that any time he went overseas and had to get on a plane, he made sure he was on the same plane with either Davis or Hendry, or preferably both. Nothing can happen if they're on the plane. That was his rationale.
That's funny. I like the choice here by Roda, though, to give it back. I don't see anything easy. And easy as hell. He's got to hit the ball. There you go. Little chink in the
shots.
armor, and a very good decision from Roda.
Ball in hand. And start the clock.
Yeah, and he wasn't really trying to bury him. He was just trying to use the green and the purple to cover the 1. Now he's taking on this combination to open up the purple 5 for later on. See, the 5 does squeeze by, but it is small and it is snug. Again, I really liked what I saw the last time he broke the balls. A couple unfortunate kisses on the cue ball. Served up the ball in hand, but never know. Little funny here. Just watch out for the 7. Should be no problem. Watch out for the 7. Let's buy it. Probably just drags this in, a little kill shot for the pink in the left middle. Came out. Didn't want to hit the ball light. Tell you, no disturbance in that clean stroke. Very easy on the eyes. Very simple delivery. No jerks in the swing, and you can tell how beautiful the cueing is. Got a little flat here. Now he's checking not to see about going forward, but can he draw the ball and avoid the right middle side pocket? So he's going to go forward maybe with a Harrah spin. Odd angle here. Got through the cue ball nicely. Wants the cue ball to stop, not be on the cushion. Doesn't mind a little thinner shot. Would rather avoid the rail with the cue ball.
Jefrey Roda. Now, earlier this evening, Finland's Riku Ronpainen won the Shane Van Boening Junior Open in emphatic style, winning 9-0 against Grayson Vaughan. Afterwards, we thought we'd get an interview.
Riku, the winner of the SVB Junior Open. I'm pretty sure you weren't expecting such a dominant display in that final, though.
Yeah, I was expecting a close match and didn't expect it to go 9-0.
And we've seen you in a number of the senior events already this year. How much does that experience help when it comes to playing in junior events like that?
It helps a lot because of the pressure and tolerating it and everything. Yeah.
And we know you've got your dad here with you today. How big an influence has he had on your career so far?
He's the main reason why I started playing in his pool hall back in the days, and yeah.
So it must make you so proud to achieve this success in front of him.
Yeah, of course.
And when you look ahead to things that you want to achieve in this game, what are the main dreams that you have?
Maybe become a world champion or in the Moscone Cup, or yeah.
Well, remember the name, because I think you are going to go very, very far. Go and enjoy this success. Very well done.
Thank you.
And maybe following the footsteps of fellow countryman Mika Immonen, whose name is on this US Open
Jefrey
trophy.
Roda to break, trailing by 8 racks to 2.
2 different times Mika Immonen's won this event. You might have to get the nickname of the Terminator also. Kind of reminded me of Arnold back in the movies, the Terminator there. Went a little lighter side there, great spread. But again, the 2 ball near, and he has a look, but it's super odd. super thin and to the side. I don't think really shootable into the corner. Narrowly missing that scratch again. That would have been really cold-blooded. So he's not taking much time here. I just got to believe it's the thin chip in the side. Cue ball's going to have some speed. Took the corner on, playing it off the point, killing the cue ball.
Maybe a recurring pattern here. Throughout the week, Fedor Gorst has been in line for runaway wins. Yes, he's got the job done in the end. But in 4 successive matches, in varying degrees, he has stumbled a little with the winning line looming large.
Yeah, easy to fall on the rails somewhat straight here because he has to get by the 8. I like that little extra speed. Really good stuff getting that bounce off that second cushion. You can tell there's not a whole lot of angle. Might fall a little funny here. He's drawing kind of towards the 9. This could be a problem. I think he's okay. You can see a little roll of the eyes, so not ideal. You don't want to cheat the pocket, that's for sure. Oh, good speed. That way the cue ball doesn't really lose the line. And as much an effortless swing as I've seen all week here, Phil. Really good stuff from Jefrey.
Jefrey Roda.
He can fly, there's no doubt about that. Can he come back? That's the big question. Well, he won rack 6, and now he's won 10 and 11 also. Neil Svyan, what a golden opportunity. Gilt-edged to take a 7-5 lead over Copigny. There's that dominant right-eyed sighting, as Jeremy pointed out earlier. You know, a few years ago, Neil Svyan was being talked about as a possible Mosconi Cup captain. But he wanted to play in the Mosconi Cup, which this year is coming up November 30 to December 3 in Central Florida, in Orange County, Orlando, Florida. It's at the Carib Royale Resort, which looks the very definition of luxurious. Hanoi Open and Reyes Cup. Before that, the Asian doubleheader, first in Hanoi, Vietnam, the capital of that country, and then the Reyes Cup, the inaugural version. It is Asia against Europe, October 15 to 18. 4 days, 4 fabulous days of action in Manila.
Rack 12, Jefrey Roda to break, trailing by 8 racks to 3.
I got the odd ball down. The 2 is going to cover the pocket, it seems. It's going to be a little upsetting, but at least he does have the first look to try and be aggressive with safety. I don't really think anything offensive is on the menu, but definitely something playable.
Always irritating, isn't it, Jeremy, when you've got an open ball off the break and then suddenly the last ball rolling denies you.
Yeah, not hard here, though, to cross this over, come one rail between the pink and the 9, doubling the 1 to the top rail like that. Yeah, that's the snooker you want to play. That's the percentage. It's a little more out of the cue ball. It's especially, you know, a little disheartening considering, you know, little extras, a lot of little extras that Fedor Gorst has had in this incredible set so far.
Extension called.
Great camera work. They're showing us that he does have a direct path at the 1. This is funny, though. I mean, doesn't have all the left side of the 1 to run the cue ball, so it's going to be something heavy from distance. Okay, he's elevating, so he's trying to dig on this, maybe put the 1 below the 9. Oh, he's throwing softly. This is kind of like really gambling. He played the swerve there, Phil. I think the 1 may have a pocket on the left side of that corner. Normally, I mean, he will play more towards the center, so the cue ball's a little concerned. He's got a lot more than I thought. Tell you, you know, you talked about possibility of Copini making this Reyes Cup, right? And of course, Jefrey Roda in that conversation now. But as calm as he stayed here with everything against him, I tell you, you gotta appreciate that, and it's gonna be noticed, I think, when some tough decisions are being made.
Yes, and of course he would know conditions inside out in his native Philippines.
Just a little 1 rail up above the 9. You know, the common thing when the adrenaline's going and, you know, you want it so much just to get a little quick with the stroke, and we haven't seen that. Not even close, really. Neil's fan just put another one on his side, so he may be throwing that lead. Keep you updated.
Roda not capitulating. When he went 8-1 down to that fluke 9 ball, you thought the end was nigh. No need for Gorst to panic yet. But Roda proving, at the very least, plucky.
Extension called.
You're right, Jeremy. Neil's fine, leads Copin Yi 8-5.
Right, decided to stun the ball here. He was going to go with a high ball. See a little more off in the players, even though he's crossing the line with the cue ball, the speed control really good. But on the slick table, they stay a little more with the draw and the stun, it seems, rather than the high ball.
Through the spin from 8-1 to 8-4. Just a glimmer of hope.
Rack 13, Jefrey Roda to break, trailing by 8 racks to 4.
Julian Roper announces the start of our next rack. For Jefrey Roda, it's all about keeping Gorst off the hill.
Nearly missed the 1, and we talked about it. He had one break with a little more speed, but he's been on the lighter side. And as SVB said in that interview earlier, So if you're on the lighter side with the break, it's really all about the one. So kept him off on something offensive. I don't know if there's an easy safety behind the green 6. Gotta believe that's where he's going if he's getting down quickly. This is odd. Could not get a cushion, really. Just because he's kind of got to ease it quite a bit. I don't think this is easy, really. Right English is what you want on the cue ball. Now, is he trying to use the green 6 to stop the cue ball and play the 1 rail behind the purple? That way, you know, he kind of secures the object ball a little bit. Oh, he's playing the stun. Pretty crafty here. And that's just to make sure he's not giving up something easy after Roda's, you know, put a few together.
Niels fine putting several together. 9-5 now over Copigny, the veteran on the hill.
And he's doing it really, from what I can see, just leaving Copigny in the chair, kind of a la what he did to Alvin Ocean in the last round. Touchy business here, especially facing a guy that's so good with the jump cue. So he's trying to get the one past the side. Cue ball got surrendered, though. Maybe a little fortunate he didn't give up that corner for a playable one.
Extension called.
Fedor Gorst does not want this to get smelly.
And I just wonder what kind of shot he's going to play. Is he going to bang the one around, trying to stun forward? The one's got to avoid the purple 5. Oh, he's playing it light. Okay, he really likes this. He's got to go a little bit. Wow. There is a 1 rail kick across. A little tap to the table from Roda. This one's going to open, and there's a gap. A little flick off the 3 made it more difficult, but I don't think the brown 7 has him cut off. Could be wrong. May have to spin this a bit. Not the most friendly way to shoot it, really. Usually you can tell by the cueing. Okay, he's knocking the one away. He must not have the path. And if this one gets on the cushion, it becomes way more difficult, and it's very near. So kind of bleeding the cue ball behind the black 8 or somewhere on the right side, not so easy. Now here, what you might do, since he has the bottom of the cue ball, dig on the cue ball a bit and draw over behind the 8 and let the one go into the purple and just take your chances. He's hitting a high ball. Got a double kiss. Well, little things are changing. Little bitty rolls here and there. Not saying that's not something Federer can play, but it's not as easy as what we may have thought. You may have to shoot at this. I don't know. Tried to check the cue ball. Roda's, oh, wow. And that was a fluke. Phil, I don't think he was playing the one, and he's wondering how that ball banked in. He was trying to get it on the other side rail and bring the cue ball up.
The clue to the fluke. Not far off pocket weight.
Okay, big shot here. Just get the feeling it's somewhat missable at this moment.
When momentum slips away, sometimes it's hard to regain. Same thing with concentration.
Well, he doesn't look as comfortable around the table as he did early in the match. Seems a bit rushed. Let's overcut this. There's going to be a gap. Believe so anyways.
It is another spell of Gorst anxiety from a position of superiority. It's happened in 4 consecutive matches.
Yeah, just we're going to lose one world champion, but another one's going to advance, it seems. Big cheers for Niels Fine. We'll get a look at that. But again, like I said, it just felt like he was a little rushed around the table all of a sudden. First time he got a little quick with the backswing. Ended up not getting through the ball quite as well and a little short with the rock.
I know it sounds ridiculous considering what he's done this year, what he's done in his career. But this week, clinching for Gorst has not been plain sailing.
Such a good stroke like Roda, it seems like you're just playing simple pool, but it's really just kind of hypnotizing in a sense. And as clean a cue action as I've ever seen really from a Filipino player. I mean, just real simple with the stroke. Of course, a lot of the youngsters, they're more aware of that technique.
Succession. He was in desperate trouble, trailing 8-1, looking a certain loser. Now at 8-5, you have to wonder whether he can produce a miraculous comeback. Do not discount it. No comeback here, though. Ko Ping-yi will not emulate his brother Ko Ping-chung, last year's champion. He throws in the towel. And Niels Fine, 47 years of age, strikes a blow for Pool's older generation, vastly experienced. Huge trophy cabinet, but there's always room for one more. Fine wins 10-5, and now he awaits the winner of Gorst against Roda. I think Niels Fine will be absolutely overjoyed. He's really backed himself over the last few years since the emergence of the World 9-Ball Tour. He said to himself, I can do this. He's had a few setbacks, a few narrow defeats in big matches. Here, though, into the semi-finals.
Yeah, I tell you, the Hall of Famer, haven't missed many of those inductions. Had to miss the one last year with Niels, just prior commitments, but like you said, an immense trophy. Immense amount of trophies. He does not have this U.S. Open title, so fighting as hard as he and everything he has to try and get it.
Rack 14, Jefrey Roda to break. Trailing by 8 racks to 5.
got the one a little thin. That one's a bit more on him with a subtle kiss on the cue ball. But you could see not much opening on the rack, so that one there is going to hurt. Watch how low the cue ball comes, and got a little kiss by the blue, it looked like. And now, you know,
Start the clock.
you wouldn't have ever thought you were going to say this, but what I feel is kind of a much needed run out here from Fedor Gorst.
He has to re-establish breathing space. The thing is, when you go so far ahead and you're so far in command, that if your opponent comes back, you start to think, well, if I lose this, I'll never forgive myself.
Yeah, especially, I mean, we can look back at, I would say, probably 4 or 5 rolls, and there's always rolls in every match. That's just how sport is designed, little things, but there's been some very unique ones in this match, and for him to let this get by, you know, especially making a few mistakes to let Roda back in it. Tricky here, though. 3 goes in the middle, but you can see the pink a little covered up, trying to find a pocket. He's going to have to play something short side. Did he get there? Is he dead straight? Looks like the pink does play to the lower right. So you have to spin this with inside, go to the side cushion, and kind of go into the pink here. Yeah, that's it. That's it, right? That's what he's trying to play. This is the shot to get on the heel.
Extension called.
Phil Yates knocks this in the upper right. The last 5 remaining, very easy.
And if you cue across this ball, so easy to overcut it.
Yeah, the miss when players are playing well is the overcut for sure. That was pure, and it's easy to overhit that shot. I thought he would have actually more speed, but he really stayed subtle with the stroke. Wants to just pinch back 3 or 4 inches here. Will do. That's ball in hand position there on the 7. Just a little pinch of the cue ball. And you get a hair of a cut on the 8. It should be close and easy overall.
Gorst needed oxygen. It was supplied by the Jefrey Roda scratch. 2 pots away from the hill.
Doesn't want to clip the 9 when he's drawing this ball here. This is all about hit the ball a little thin. Played it back across.
To take on Niels Fine in the semi-finals tomorrow. And talking about the Flying Dutchman, I believe he's chatting with his former Mosconi Cup teammate, Carl Boyes.
Niels, congratulations. Big win over Copenhagen. Tell us about the match.
It was a shaky start in the beginning. I was 2-1 up, 4-2 down, and then I jumped in a crazy shot to save my butt for 4-3, then broke and ran. And then the funny thing was I had a banana in my pocket all day long, and I came back from the timeout. I needed a bit of fruit, and I opened up this banana. It was darker than your shirt. And it kind of broke the ice because I was joking with the crowd about it. And from there on, I started running some racks, and I got a little more comfortable. And I was lucky he didn't get out on 9-5. I should have ran the set like 4 and out. Missed a 3, and then he didn't get out. I banked the 8 in for the win. Great win. So, yeah, awesome.
47 years of age, sorry to remind you.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you work as hard as anybody, you know, any pool player, we all know this. How much work have you been putting in to get back to this level with all the young guns?
Well, you say that all the time, but I think that's a little overestimated. I think, to be frank, I don't consider myself full pro anymore since COVID, because there's so many side projects, my YouTube channel, the mental courses, Patreon page, so family life. So I don't work as hard as in my 20s and 30s. So, but if I'm still fully committed, like at the Europeans, I won a title there. And like this one, I put in, you know, good 2 weeks of solid work, and I can still play, but I'm not as consistent as before. But you know, this is the only one that's missing, so I'm trying my heart out.
Yeah, 2014, you become world 9-ball champion, you've Masters champion, you've won everything, you've finished 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th here. How sweet would it be to add this one to the list?
Can't describe. It's gonna be a really cool day tomorrow. I just want to really enjoy it, you know, try to play my game, and it's up in the air, you know. If you start breaking well like the last match, get some open chances, get going. Haven't played on the table yet, just looking forward to it, you know. It's gonna be a great day.
2 more matches to go, buddy. Go and get some sleep. We'll see you tomorrow.
You got it, brother. Thanks.
Flying through, Gorst looking to apply a decisive thrust, but the cue ball on the lip.
Yeah, little things, just a hair more. That little rub, I thought it got a little one from the pink, but it didn't. And an awkward combination here that I think he will shoot, just because it will be the shot to probably win the match. But anytime you're near the rail and you hate to dead roll this ball, you kind of feel like you lose accuracy with the light speed and a bit of comfort. But you got to feel he's attacking here. I like him taking that time. You want to be clear-cut how you want to strike this ball. I think he's put more speed. Really good stuff there, Phil.
Yeah, cue ball and the one avoiding each other. Drawing ever closer.
Extension called.
Yeah, Jefrey Roda's not got much to be upset about, but it was 2 scratches, one very unfortunate. I believe it was at 3-1 is when it was, and a couple kisses really cost him, along with a few rolls, but then that last scratch was a little more on himself. And those are the 2 things that really turned the tides. They go into the purple here.
The crowd behind the pocket knew it was in. They murmured in satisfaction, because in this part of the world, in many parts of the world, Fedor Gorst is very well liked.
Yeah, so many players are liked because of just simply how great they play, and completely understand that. But this guy, he's really got it all. Good guy to be around, witty, classy, spends a lot of times with his fans, and you know, we all appreciate hard work, and that's the real obvious part with Fedor Gorst.
Seeing his US Open dream evaporate. Niels Fine has done some DJing. Can he put Gorst in a spin tomorrow?
I'll tell you, he's got a hair funny here. He's got to go forward 2 cushions. He doesn't mind distance on the 7, but he'd like to be nice and straight. That's the key.
Will the DJ win, or will records again fall to Gorst? Remember, he's trying to simultaneously hold the World Masters, World 9-ball and US Open titles. Unprecedented.
Oh, he knows that shot has sent him into our final day, our final 4, and again that chance to get all those titles.
This Gorst refuses to be exorcised from the Harrah's resort. He's sticking around to the final day. Fedor Gorst defeats Jefrey Roda by 10 racks to 5. The semi-finals of the US Open beckon for him.